Should we tell the youth the truth about these holidays, or when do we end the fairy tales in their minds?
When should we tell the youth about these holidays, and when should we end the fairy tales in their minds about what? The holidays?
Yes.
Life is a fairy tale in a lot of regards. Most of it is full of fantasy, and fantasy is good. If we put fantasy in its proper place, then we would love the holidays. We would have more of them because we would know every day will be a holiday, as a matter of fact. That we only use certain days to see, or only that we see certain days as fantastic, is amazing. With all the beauty in life, with all the mystery in life, fantasy should be an everyday dealing. We should be in awe at all the newness that's here, and all the freshness that's here, and all the opportunity that our life offers us to be open and free. And freedom is all about fantasy. And fantasy is all about mystery and what we don't know, and being excited about what's around the corner. And we don't know what's around the corner, so we project and we superimpose using great powers, the great power of imagination, which is a grand power. So a childlike fascination with life is great, and I think we should keep it all the way through. Now, to keep that remembrance of that child, of our ability to be visionaries and visualize and imagine what's around the corner, is great. Once we think we know what's around the corner, once things become black and white, then things become dead. You know. So fantasy is like the childlike quality that we need in life to keep it fresh and new, or keep ourselves up to date and in balance with what's fresh and new. A black and white outlook gets outdated. We need that space to grow, you know, make things new. And I think that's, or not make things new, allow the new to come through. Let's say it that way. And be creative with that capacity to allow. Because there are grand things that arise in that allowing. And those are the things that great mystery, great fantasy, great myth is made of. Imagine life without that myth, without that beyond, you know, that transcendental quality. Okay, so fantasy in the kids. No, we should encourage fantasy. We should encourage fantasy in our adult lives, and we shouldn't separate ourselves from the kids in that. I think the grand achievement of adulthood is to become more childlike and more soft on the inside, more understanding on the inside, more fluid on the inside. It isn't to become hard and rock-like and out of date. So, fantasy is great. Thank you, Valentine's Day people. Thank you, Christmas people. Thank you, all holiday people. Keep the spirit of goodness alive.
How do we get women to respect the value and minds of the black man, especially their significant other?
To not allow our significant other to think that we are simply what they are seeing. We have to continuously be creative and intent on breaking the boundaries of everyday perception. If we're concerned about others, we got to give others what's fresh. We have to be fresh for the other. So we have to be creative for the other. You know, and to be fresh and creative for the other is to not allow yourself to be put in a black and white framework, to not be expected too much of. So to clear up our misunderstandings maybe with our significant other, and if I'm gonna speak to a black consciousness, is to be totally honest about our position at all times, if we know what our position is. And if we don't, it's to find out who we are, define ourselves, and be clear about that to the other. And then when we get to that point, create on top of that. Keep that alive. Keep that alive. Define ourselves in a way that we can grow within it. Because if we define ourselves too concretely and use too much blocking stuff in, then we're not allowed to grow. We're not allowed to update ourselves as the relationship may call for at times. We're not prepared for the ups and downs. We'll crack under pressure that's probably necessarily gonna come. And so to not crack under pressure, we define ourselves initially, but we also leave space in that definition to be updated, to update ourselves, to be fresh for our other. So I think that's how we deal with ourselves. You know, we watch ourselves as black men, and we don't wall ourselves in with judgments about ourselves that we promote to others and not able to live up to. You know, so we got to know what qualities to call ourselves that are spacious. So the best way to deal with others is to always keep that space quality in our looking at ourselves. And that's my opinion.